KAIROS, written by Zach Paul Brown. Interior, apartment, living room, night. Flash forward. Two women sit facing one another on opposite couches. Despite their dimmed and dreaming setting, their hearts and minds race rapidly. One of the women fiddles with her necklace. A wedding ring is its charm. A cell phone sits on the coffee table between them. On it, a timer counts down. They watch the clock intently. Their time in this peaceful cocoon is quickly coming to an end.
So, what should we do?
The other woman goes to speak, then, cut to, title card, KAIROS. Interior apartment, living room, night. Lee, 29, African-American, underslept, visibly distracted, fiddles with her necklace. She sits at a small desk, concealed in a maelstrom of papers. A girl speaks from a laptop video session in front of her.
Professor? Professor?
Lee snaps back to reality.
So, makeup test Wednesday?
Yes, that's fine.
Awesome. Thanks.
Lee signs off on the session. Zach, 26, Caucasian, joyful, so Hollywood it hurts, he bounces into the room.
So what do we think?
He models for her. 360 spin.
Bit much for a first date, don't you think?
At least I'm not going around with teriyaki sauce on my cardigan.
Lee looks at her clothes. He's right.
Hey, it's still good.
She goes to lick it. They chuckle.
You're a mess.
Lee goes back to her fiddling. Zach looks at her workstation. No, really, she's a mess. Something on her computer catches his eye. Articles about the rogue planet KAIROS and its coming passing fill her screen.
You gonna watch tonight?
Lee shuts her laptop quickly.
What's there to watch?
You're the physicist, you tell me. Bright lights in the night sky, splintering space and time, parallel realities?
My contemporaries suggest it could have an effect on our electromagnetic fields, damage a couple satellites, cause a blackout or two. Conspiracy talk ilk isn't anything to get excited over.
You're no fun.
Zach realizes he's pressing too much.
Beck would have liked something like this.
Yeah, maybe.
Zach knows he needs to intervene.
You barely left the house in months, Lee.
There was a lot to get done. Bills, her
You
affairs.
teach all your classes online.
I hate traditional classroom settings, you know that.
She was my sister. My best friend. It's perfectly okay to be distraught. Believe me, I certainly am, but you don't have to stew in it alone.
I'm not stewing in anything, I just need some more time.
Zach isn't sure what else to say. He looks at his phone. He stands to go.
I'm going to stop by a grave tomorrow. I would enjoy the company.
Lee doesn't say anything. Zach goes to the door. Lee quickly turns to him.
Pick me up at 11. We can pack a lunch, have a picnic.
Let's say 12. I'm planning on getting lucky tonight.
Zach goes. Lee sits in silence. She takes out a pill bottle, pops a small one onto her tongue, then takes a swig from the mug on her desk. Interior, apartment, living room, night. Lee watches television. She grows bored, turns it off. She pulls out her phone and turns on the AirPlay on her TV. She picks a clip. Interior, screen. iPhone footage. Lee and her wife, Beck, play with their dog, Mo, on the beach. Beck tosses a ball and Mo chases after it.
Go get him, Mo! Good boy!
Beck and Lee kiss. Beck plays tug of war with Mo.
Pretty soon he's gonna have a little person to play with. Give your arm a rest.
Yeah, hopefully.
Beck looks a bit sad.
Hey, it'll work. It will work.
A text from Zach pops on screen. There's a picture of the moon in the night sky, a bright blue dot. KAIROS sits closely next to it. The text reads, "Getting ready, don't miss it. First flash in 2 minutes. Second one at 5:14 a.m. Interior, apartment, living room. Lee turns off the television. She takes out her pill bottle again and pops one, dry swallows. She goes to the window, pulls back the blinds, and looks out at the darkness. Interior, screen. She sends a text back to Zach. Watching. Interior apartment, living room. She waits. After a few moments of stillness, a bright light shines through her window. Lee is blinded by the magnitude of it for a second. She peers out, but KAIROS is slightly obscured. She heads outside to get a better view. Interior apartment complex hallway. Lee walks down the hall to the roof of the staircase. A red painting can be seen hanging on the wall. Exterior apartment complex roof. Lee looks up at the blue dot, KAIROS. Even her scientific mind can't ignore the beauty of it. She closes her eyes and makes a wish. Interior, apartment complex, hallway. Lee heads back. The red painting is no longer there. Instead, a blue painting hangs in its place, unbeknownst to Lee. Interior, apartment, living room. Lee slides off her shoes. From the kitchen she hears someone milling about, cooking. Lee rounds the corner, and standing in front of her is her deceased wife, Beck. She is a vivacious, petite woman around Lee's age. She sings as she cooks. Each move has a flair to it. Beck hears the presence enter the kitchen behind her. She fills up a bowl with some stew.
Are you excited for your big date tonight? Let me see your outfit.
Beck turns and sees Lee. She drops the bowl on the floor, stunned. Neither of them know what to do. In awe, Beck begins to approach Lee. Lee steps back cautiously and then darts out of the room.
Lee? Lee!
Interior, apartment, bathroom. Lee vomits into the toilet. Beck comes into the doorway.
Wait!
Lee slams the door shut in her face and locks it. Lee grabs her pill bottle. 1, no 2 is the magic dosage. She splashes some water under her face and looks at herself in a cracked mirror. Her hands tremble as she goes to the doorknob. She unlocks it and opens it.
You're here. You're really here.
Beck puts a hand to Lee's cheek. Lee passes out. Interior, apartment, living room, an hour later. Beck and Lee sit silently on opposite couches from each other.
You were out for a while.
Lee says nothing. Beck looks around.
Where's Mo? I can't find him anywhere. His food, his toys, none of it's here.
It hasn't been here. He had a tumor. I put him down last year after your accident.
My accident?
You were hit by a Prius.
Beck starts to laugh. Lee is disturbed.
That's probably the most LA way to go. But it wasn't a Prius. It was a bus, and it wasn't me, Lee. It was you.
I don't understand how this is possible.
Beck looks out the window.
It's a convergence.
God, not you too.
Dr. Jeffrey said that the amount of energy that KAIROS could produce could potentially open a doorway to allow two divergent timelines, our realities, to coexist together.
Since when are you spending time with Dr. Jeffries?
Since you died, I wanted to know more about what went on in your head, how you saw the world.
The world has order. KAIROS is not real. Your doorway is not real.
How do you explain this, Lee? You said I died a year ago, hit by a car. I saw the same thing happen to you. But here we are, both of us, together. Maybe Dr. Jeffries was right.
Or maybe I'm just going crazy.
Beck walks over to Lee and slaps her, then kisses her deeply. She keeps her hand on her cheek. They linger in the familiarity.
You felt that. You feel me. We're not crazy.
Lee grabs her phone. She opens up the clock and sets a timer.
What are you doing?
KAIROS is primarily comprised of diamond. When it comes within a certain angle of the moon, it refracts its light and intensifies the beam towards Earth. That's what the first flash was. The second one is supposed to happen at 5:14 a.m., which means if this is actually happening, the light refraction will set things back to the way they were. So we have 93 minutes to talk.
Are you kidding me?
Not in the slightest.
We've come back to life before each other's eyes and you're putting on a timer?
If this is real, then it's all we have.
Beck looks around the room.
I tried calling Zach. The phones aren't working, neither is the internet.
Sorry you're stuck with me.
I didn't mean it like that.
I know, I was trying to be funny.
Stick to science.
Beck goes to a bookcase. She looks at a small figurine.
This broke during the earthquake last month.
What earthquake?
I didn't have it up here. I had it over there.
Beck moves the figurine to her desk. She sees another misplaced item.
This isn't right either.
She moves it and positions it. Sees another item.
Or this.
Moves it.
Or any of this. It's all backwards, sideways.
Beck starts searching and rearranging the room. She gets increasingly frenzied with each placement.
Can you stop that, please?
Why?
Because maybe we shouldn't be touching anything. Maybe we need to keep everything in my universe in place until KAIROS passes.
What makes you think it's your universe?
What do you mean?
Beck rummages through her desk and pulls out a funeral brochure. Lee's face and name sit on the cover.
Maybe it's mine and you just collided into it.
I really think you should stop.
I'm just putting things back to the way they were.
You can't do that. You could do something. Mess up the sequence, the order of...
Order of what? The feng shui of the cosmos? Fuck that! This is my house!
Our home.
That's what I meant. Move.
Beck continues. She gets frantic.
Beck.
Beck doesn't hear her. She picks up some books.
I'll be quick with it.
Beck, please stop.
It's only a few small things.
Beck, fucking stop!
Beck breathes deeply.
I was finally starting to piece my life back together, but now everything's breaking again. It's funny, even the shrill sound of your voice makes me comforted. We fought a lot towards the end, didn't we?
You did.
I'm sorry.
What?
Beck is confused.
If we're from two different realities, maybe you didn't do it? Maybe you didn't actually sleep with her?
Beck looks forlorn.
I see. Separate, but still very much the same, even across dimensions.
I wish I hadn't.
What, told me or done it in the first place?
I don't know. Both. Are you seeing anyone now?
I'm pretty busy with work.
So, not much has changed with you. Dr. Jeffrey misses you a lot. He spoke at your funeral, actually. I'm assuming Zach spoke at mine.
He did.
Good. That's what I would have wanted. Or will want. God, this is fucking confusing.
And you?
Me?
Are you seeing anyone?
Beck hesitates.
Her name's Casey.
Casey.
Lee makes a face.
No, it wasn't her. She wasn't the one. Casey and I met in group. Her husband passed a few years ago. We've only been on a few dates, nothing serious, but she's really lovely.
Good. I'm happy for you.
Are you, though?
I was dead. What am I supposed to feel?
Can you feel anything, Lee? I mean, apart from the initial shock and the small annoyance of me rearranging the apartment, I'm not really getting anything from you. Are you happy we're here? Even just a little bit? What? You're what? Please, just give me a little something, fucking anything.
I don't know, okay? I don't know. Do you know how many times I dreamt we could have this moment? This do-over, but now that it's here, all I can think about is the fights, the insults, the fucking stress of it all. Casey and I don't know, it's so stupid that I feel like this, but I can't help it back. I can't, maybe...
What?
Nothing.
Say it.
Maybe we were just from two different realities all along. Maybe the universe knew it was for the best.
Beck gets in her face.
Do you realize how fucked up that is of you to say? I don't have to explain to you what it feels like to watch the person you think you're going to spend the rest of your life with die right in front of your eyes. Maybe it's just for the best? Fuck you for ever saying something like that.
This is why it wasn't working back. This is why it couldn't work. Because when you were faced with conflict, you crumble. And instead of getting back up and trying again, you tell me to go fuck myself or get drunk at a bar or go and screw another stranger.
You're not innocent in this either.
I never said I was.
It's better than disengaging, burying yourself in papers and fucking formulas that don't mean anything to anyone. I mean, do you know how lonely it was? Wanting to talk to you, to share that journey with you, but every time I tried, you just smiled and said, it will work next time. I'm sure of it. And then went right back to some fucking tutoring session. Then went right back to some fucking tutoring session. Well, it didn't work next time. It never worked next time. And when it finally did, you weren't even there to be a part of it.
What?
I had one last round a few months ago.
Stop.
I'm almost 12 weeks. Fuck. Maybe you're right. Maybe we're just one of those cliched couples that's an absolute mess. But delusional enough to think that a baby or a family would change everything and make it right.
Are you gonna keep it?
Of course I'm going to keep it. I wanted this for a long time. Not being with you wasn't going to change that. Whatever all this is, isn't going to change it either.
I wish I could be there to see it.
Me too. But we're running a little short on time, unfortunately.
Have you picked a name?
I don't know the sex yet, but I was actually thinking about KAIROS. Call it Kai for short. Zach suggested it. What do you think?
I think that is a god-awful name.
Beck chuckles.
KAIROS is a good name. It's very Hollywood.
It's definitely very Hollywood.
Lee puts her hand to Beck's stomach.
Little Kai, I'm happy for you. I'm happy you get to be a mom. You deserve it.
Thanks.
I should have fought harder for you. With you. I did love you in that universe. Probably still love you in any.
Beck hugs her and holds her. Beck begins to sob.
I need some water.
Sit, I'll get it.
Lee goes to the sink and pours a glass of water. She gives it to Beck and she drinks. Beck watches the timer.
What do we do now?
I'm not sure.
Why would the universe bring us together just to split us again?
We were unhappy, uncertain, scared.
Oh, that's a pleasant thought.
It's not cinematic, but it's the truth. We had a lot of problems. I did love you, Beck, but we didn't work then or there. Can you say that I'm totally wrong?
No. Even still, I want to talk to you more, share more. I'd still want you in my life for Kai, regardless of us, all of our shit. It isn't fair, none of this is.
Beck takes another drink of her water. Lee looks at the glass and thinks.
What if we could share more? What if we did get more time?
I don't see how that's an option.
Lee takes Beck's water glass and holds it up.
When light passes through water, it bends, it changes directions. If the beam from KAIROS was enough to converge us, maybe we could use water to shield ourselves when it hits again, or at least lessen the blow, not separate us.
What? So we just stick our hands in a glass of water and cross our fingers?
Ideally, we would be submerged, totally, in the same body of water.
The tub?
It's not big enough for both of us.
They think.
How long would it take to get to the beach without traffic?
Half an hour, maybe?
Lee looks at the timer, counting down. They could do it. They could get there in time.
We could make it.
Lee urgently readies herself to leave. Every second counts.
Wait, just wait. How do we know this would work?
We don't.
But where would we go?
Possibly back to one of our own realities, or somehow stay in this one.
But what if something else happens and we end up somewhere just not at all?
Lee ponders for a moment. She sits and thinks, mirroring the scene from the beginning.
So, what should we do?
She looks up at her wife and realizes.
I'm willing to take the risk, even if it is just a theory.
She puts out a hand. Beck takes it. The clock counts down. They need to go ASAP. They start for the door, but Beck abruptly turns.
We need to go now.
I know. Just one more thing. Give me your phone.
Beck takes Lee's phone and holds it up. She places her hand on her belly, her arm around Lee, and snaps a picture.
Just in case. Posterity.
She places the phone next to the timer.
33 minutes. Let's go!
They run out the door. Exterior complex hallway. Beck and Lee run hand in hand down to their car. Interior car. Lee and Beck zip out onto the street. Beck is somewhat scared at how fast Lee drives. She giggles her worry away. Exterior highway. Beck and Lee drive down the empty highway. Beck looks out the window at KAIROS. She closes her eyes. She looks to Lee. They smile. Exterior beach. Lee and Beck park. They hurry out of the car.
2 minutes.
They dart down to the water.
Fuck, that's cold.
Lee and Beck look up at the sky.
That's beautiful.
They wade out further.
I'm scared, Lee.
Me too. On 3.
Beck nods.
1, 2.
Lee and Beck hold their breath and submerge themselves under the water. As they do, KAIROS has its second beam. A great light overtakes the screen. Interior, apartment, living room, following day. The apartment is still and quiet. Zach enters.
Good morning. It was so great last night, and this guy was so perfect, and he made me breakfast. Hey, where are you?
Zach looks around the apartment. Nothing. He sees an open pill bottle on the floor, cleans it up, and places it on the coffee table next to a cell phone. He picks up the phone. He unlocks it to see the timer at 0. He closes the app and begins to scroll through the phone some more. Nothing out of the ordinary until he sees something. Wait, what is that? Did she really? How? It's not. A tidal wave of expressions cross his face. He opens his mouth to speak, scream, exclaim, smile, cry, all of the above. Then, just right before he can get the correct sound to come out from his mouth, end.